Remember those fruit trees we were busy taking care of? They were dormant and basically bare. Well, they are now full of leaves. They've given me some flowers and some of them have some baby fruit on it. So in today's video, I'm going to take you around and show you all the fruit trees that have bared fruit and give you some facts about the fruits that are growing on them. So if you have been watching the series, this is part 3. We've gone from dormancy to fertilizing to leafing out. And now it is time for fruiting. So grab your favorite drink and let's go around the homestead and go through all the fruits that are starting to appear on our fruit trees. So let's start with the nectarines. They are basically the first fruits to appear. They are the first tree to actually wake up and give you blossoms. And you guys know the story about the mouse birds eating all of the fruits on our clingstones. They've left us 6 beautiful nectarines. They're starting to size up, and there's basically 2 on a branch that I see they've kept me. But nectarines are such a rewarding fruit in a pot. They're rich in vitamin A and C, amazing for skin and immune health. And you'll notice the fruit start fuzzing, then smooth out as they ripen. Keep an eye out for thinning, especially on big crops. That helps each nectarine grow bigger and sweeter. But in our case, we don't have that problem because it's just 2 on a branch. And this tree would normally give us between 20 and 30 nectarines if the mouse birds didn't go and eat all of our fruits. And we've got it growing in a pot. This is the 4th year having this nectarine tree. This variety is called the Alpine, and definitely worth giving this variety a try. Over here we have the Cara Orange, probably one of my favorite fruit trees, and they have a pink flesh citrus that tastes like a cross between an orange and a raspberry. And over here you can see we have our very first beautiful orange. It's the biggest one on the tree. But we have oranges all over. It's quite amazing. Oranges are absolutely high in vitamin C. But it's just covered in oranges. There's just so much growth on it still. It's growing upwards, sideways. And I will thin it out in the middle as soon as I harvest my first batch of oranges here. But that is some exciting news. Okay, the next one is the apple trees. Something that has amazed me because I think this is the first season that both the apple trees have actually exploded in apples after we have done the fertilizing of the fruit trees. And these guys absolutely love winters and respond beautifully to consistent feeding. So I'm glad that we did the fertilizing method that I did in part 1 and 2. And apples are rich in like fiber and antioxidants. They're really, really great for the heart and the digestive system. And these baby apples will slowly start plumping out, and before you know it, we have beautiful round Granny Smith apples. This is the green variety, and you can see that each branch is covered in apples. Check up here. So that has been an amazing reward for me to see all these apples. And then if I swing on this side, this is the Gala red apple variety, and the same thing is happening here. We have beautiful baby apples. This is probably the biggest on the apple tree. Look at that. They look healthy, they're sizing up, and there's still so much more apples on here. So the one thing I can say that I've learned in the 5 years of being on my homestead is that soil and prepping your fruit trees is very, very important. I have gone through so many different varieties of how to prep my apple and cherry tree and have failed 4 years in a row. And this year I decided to do it my way, and the results is amazing. So if you've been watching our series in part 1, just before the fruit trees had woken up, I had given them some worm tea fertilizer, and that is just to boost the soil up and make sure that when my trees were waking up during late winter, that they had some nutrients in the soil. Obviously during winter your watering is less and the nutrients are still being washed out when you water your pots. So my fruit trees are all in pots. So I gave them some worm tea fertilizer, and then about a month and a half after that, I had then prepped my pots. So I had given them some fresh compost and topsoil, some slow releasing fertilizer, and then I think it was 2 weeks after doing that, I had given them some multi-boost fertilizer, which is a liquid form. And I'm telling you that I've never seen so many apples on my fruit trees. I think the Gala apple tree gave me 1 red apple in the 4 years of having the tree. My Granny Smith gave me about 6 apples in the second year, and in the third year I basically didn't get any apples last year. This year I have an abundance of apples, and it's so crucial and so important to make sure your trees, especially in pots, get the nutrients they really need in order for you to get the fruits you're looking for. My next fruit tree is the pomegranate. I love those trees because look at the bright orange flowers. They turn into jewel-like fruits. Pomegranates are packed with vitamin C, and they are powerful antioxidants that really help reduce inflammation. And they're perfect for juicing or just eating them straight from the tree. So let me show you these magnificent fruits. You'll start getting little buds like this. They're all closed, and then they'll just open up into these most amazing flowers like this. And what I've learned about pomegranates is that if the base, you can see the base there, is not fattening up, they're still very, very skinny. Very unlikely that these guys will develop. They'll probably fall off. But if you come down here, you can see the base is swollen and is starting to fatten up, which means that this will turn into a magnificent ball of pomegranate. And it's quite nice to watch them fatten up because you just watch them from a closed flower to something like this, and then a magnificent round fruit. And there's quite a few that you can see will fall off, but there's quite a lot that has really thick bases, which means that one's pollinated, and this tree is self-pollinating. This is our sweet variety, and I'll give you the name of this one. It's called the Grenadilla, if I can say it right, Grenadilla variety, and I do recommend this variety. We've done a taste test. If you guys have not seen that YouTube video on me harvesting a fruit from this pomegranate and that one, and I do a comparison, and I sit right here and we do a taste test together, you'll see my reaction. This is so sweet, juicy, and absolutely worth getting. This variety, unfortunately, is a very sour variety. Next on our list is the Goji berry. Look at that. Remember before it was just bare sticks? Well, this is my Goji berry, and it's often called superfoods, and for a very, very good reason. They are full of antioxidants, they boost the immune system, and they support healthy vision. And the plant loves full sun, so you can see that it is in the sun for at least 8 hours or even more. And it loves well-drained soil, so we've got it in a raised bed like this, and definitely hasn't got wet feet. This plant doesn't like wet feet, so make sure that your soil is a well-drained soil. It's not in the ground where water gathers, and where I've got it right now, it loves it. And once they start producing, they just don't stop. So you'll get a little bud like that. You can see we've got buds all over the tree if you look really, really closely. And they'll open into these amazing purple flowers. Some is light pink, light purple, a little bit of white, but you can see a whole bunch on here. And before you actually know it, there is little red goji berries all over this bush. So what do you do with goji berries? A lot of people ask me, what do you do with goji berries? They are a superfood, and they don't taste really pleasant fresh off the plant. And yeah, I understand that. It doesn't really have a nice taste. But if you dry them out and you store them very well, you can just throw them over some yogurt or even in your cereal. And I found that is the best. I like to mix it with my berries, and I like to mix it with my nuts and my seeds, then throw it over some Greek yogurt with some honey, and that's basically how I eat my goji berries. So give it a try. Once you've actually dried it out and you've stored it away, you can actually keep it up to a few months in the jars. Over here is something a little bit different, a tree that we've been looking for nearly 2 years, and last year the supplier had a problem growing it. This year we managed to get quite a big one. The other fruit nurseries were selling it for not even half the size. Got a really good deal with this one. And the Tamarella, or the tomato tree, is one of my favorite. You can see there's some fruit there, some seeds. And the fruit has a tangy tropical flavor and is high in vitamin A, C, and even E. Tamarellas love warmth, and they can handle pots very well. You can see I've got mine in a raised bed as well. And if you just keep feeding and protecting them from the frost, they will do very, very well. The fruit, we're not really sure what the variety is, but you can have fruits that are really deep red colors and are perfect for like things like chutneys and even smoothies. And they've got these massive leaves. Plant number 2, and beautiful seeds. So this is Tamarella plant number 2, and I just need to move it closer to plant number 1 because I am not really sure if it needs a partner. So this is Tamarella plant number 1, and you can see how massive these leaves are starting to get. And that's what I like about these plants. I remember last season the leaves were massive, but it's also giving us some beautiful fruit. Try and zoom in. There you go. How beautiful is that? Some little buds there, and these buds will slowly turn into beautiful Tamarella fruits, which I'm excited because it is probably one of my very favorite fruits that I've tasted. Okay, over here is the highlight of my summer, and that is the cherry tree. loaded with antioxidants as well, and it is an anti-inflammatory compound. This tree and their fruit is great for muscle recovery and sleep. The blossoms are beautiful. So in my previous video, I think it was part 2, I show you the beautiful white pinky flowers it gave us, and once they fade, these tiny little green cherries come into focus, and I just need to keep an eye on them because I've been told that birds absolutely love these little round things. So now I need to put a bag on them before they go disappearing, but they are absolutely looking amazing, and it's one of the fruit trees I've been waiting for to give me some fruits. So cherry tree absolutely showing off here. Some more cherries here. Absolutely stoked about this tree. This is something that I have not really showed on part 1 and part 2 of our fruit trees waking up, but I did make a separate video on our berries, on how we fertilize them. So go take a look at that video. It really shows you what we do, my method of how to prep them to wake up for a beautiful season of berries, and they've just taken over. You can see they're absolutely lush, and what we're going to show you today is the youngberry, the raspberry, and the English gooseberry. So this is the raspberries, and what I do need to do is actually move them. Right now it is about 10:30, and they are sitting in the shade. Your berries need some sun in order for them to produce the fruits that you are wanting, and they love full sun, at least 6 hours, and then they love the afternoon shade. But these raspberries, they're filled with vitamin C and fiber, and they're great for your heart. Always know they're ready when they come off the canes easily. So they have just started to flower, and there is some beautiful raspberries there, and they'll just continue giving you some beautiful flowers. And my variety, I'm not sure what it's called, but it is the thorny one. You can see these nasty little thorns here. I'm not really complaining because that protects my raspberries from the birds that will try and come in and grab these raspberries and eat them. And then right next to it is our youngberry. So these are actually beautiful hybrids of the raspberry, the blackberry, and I've been told even a dewberry. And they are juicy, they are rich in antioxidants, and they're perfect for making jams and even put in desserts. I've been told they are slightly tart with a sweet finish, and I think it's probably one of my favorite berries to actually grow. And I've got them growing in a pot because I don't have any soil on the side of the homestead, but you can see how beautiful these canes are starting to look. And I've just trellised them along this trellis over here, and you can see these beautiful flowers are starting to open up. They'll turn into beautiful fruits soon, and I can't wait to actually try them again. To show you, I repotted this. It's from the youngberry. It had gone and taken one of their canes, stuck it in one of my other pots, and just started rooting itself. Didn't know that was possible. Now I do. So what I've gone and done is that I've looped the cane and I put it back into the soil. That will eventually root, where I can now cut the cane and I have another plant. So that is a few more young berries I've just created, I guess. Super exciting. But over here is a bit of an old-fashioned favorite. It's the English gooseberry. These start firm and they are tart but sweeten as they ripen. And they are high in vitamin C and fiber, and they're perfect for baking or even making preservatives. They thrive in a cooler weather, and they do great in containers like this. And I just want to show you the gooseberries. They are just like all over. I'm just super excited to try them. You can see that they've got these gnarly thorns, and I actually don't mind because once again it will protect the berries from the birds that will come and land on here and try and eat my berries. Right now my berries seem to be protected, but I think it's time to actually put a cover over them. On this side we do have our Grenadilla vine, and if I'm not mistaken, I saw a Grenadilla somewhere here. There it is. You can see that the chickens have been trying to pick at it, and there's bottom leaves here missing because chickens and the rabbits, they love the leaves. Didn't know they could eat it, but they can, and they absolutely love it. So these beautiful alien flowers, see if I've got one. They were all open the other day. There you go. A beautiful flower like that. So what happens is that you'll have a whole bunch of vines with closed flowers, and then they'll slowly open into these beautiful alien flowers, and then it will give you some fruit. And I have another one here. And we've actually got this Grenadilla vine and Guava vine wrapping around our water tank because we wanted to cover it. And it's actually done a pretty amazing job. It's starting to now go on the top, but we'll slowly start getting more fruits hopefully, and that's what I'm just waiting for, to see more Grenadillas on this vine. So these tropical vines are called Grenadillas, and some people call them sweet passion fruits. But these vines are thriving and they're starting to form fruits, which is super exciting. And on the inside of these, when you cut them open, they have these beautiful pulp and then crunchy seeds. And they burst with vitamin C, some fiber and antioxidants. They're really great for boosting immunity and digestion. And if you tell me, nothing beats the fresh tropical aroma when they are ripened. Put it in the fridge and then open them up and eat them. Absolutely amazing. But another thing you can do is just take the juice out and drink it, but then you'll need quite a few Grenadillas for that, but absolutely worth it. And then finally the fig trees. They have bushed out very nicely. They are growing the way I actually wanted it to grow after we hard pruned it. They are the last fruits basically to form fruits, and there's no fruits yet, but when they do start to form, they are little tiny green bulbs that grow into soft sweet fruit, and this normally happens in late summer. So figs are rich in minerals like potassium and calcium, and they're really great for digestion. And these are one of the most rewarding trees to grow, especially if you're growing them in pots. So let me take you to our fig Adam, which is in a pot. So on this side we do have the fig Adam, and you can see that I'm growing it in a big pot like that. And you can see that new growth has started growing from the old branches. And just another reminder that your figs will only form on the new growth. You will not have figs growing on the old branches here. So you can see that I didn't actually prune this tree at all. So it has just started growing a new branch that way. So come next year, I'll probably cut it over here. There's a note on this side, and I'll have another branch growing that way, and that's fine with me, because if I had to cut it here, the branch would come out this way, which is not ideal. So go check my video out. I explain how to actually prune fig trees. It's just so nice to see the reward afterwards, from looking after the fruit trees while they were dormant, to fertilizing them while they were waking up, to pruning them, to giving them the slow releasing fertilizer, and just the love and care that a plant needs in order for us to get an abundance of fruit. And that's why it's so important that you actually take care of your fruit trees, especially if they are growing in pots, because remember, the nutrients are going to get washed away every time you water them, and you need to make sure that you give them the nutrients in order for them to thrive. So that was us taking care of our fruit trees from the time they woke up to them bearing fruit today. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on part 3 of the journey of our fruit trees. And I think the final one would be us harvesting our fruit and giving it a taste test like we always do every single year. So if you guys haven't watched part 1 and part 2 of the series, go take a look. It's about fruit trees waking up in winter, what to do with them, how to prune them, when to fertilize them, and it really will sum all of the series up. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and give it a like, subscribe. We definitely will see you guys in the next series.